Hi, welcome to the Weeville garage. We've got Red all jacked up, boxes and stuff. Got his rear end hanging loose there because Red has been leaking from his butt. That spot right there, and I'm gonna fix that. I have tightened all these bolts on the differential cover to the prescribed 33 pound-foot of torque. It ain't gonna quit leaking. Now there's a man-made silicone gasket that you kind of squirt around the edges of that before you put it all together, and apparently that has failed. So we're gonna stop this leak. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna work on Red's butt. He's leaking from the butt. Now there's a 1.5 quart worth of stuff in that rear end. That gear oil is a 75 weight, and the Ford prescribes that you got to have some friction modifier to go in there with that when you got one of these here limited slip, aka positive traction rear ends. And we'll be looking at it later on as to where the hole is where you fill it up after you fix the seal on the cover. I'm going to be using this here fluid pump that's going to pump it up there to that hole when we get there, like that. Now the Ford 2006 Mustang shop manual describes this is what that looks like in there after you, the operator, the mechanicer, squirts that silicone caulk, put a bead around there all the way around the edge like so, and that's what is the gasket. So we'll be doing that later on. Now for this, I've got Red hung from the body, so his rear axle sagging down all the way. That's just, you don't have to do that, I guess, but it's just to give me a little bit more room when he's sitting on the wheels. This thing is further up in there, and it's kind of gets stuff in the way no matter what you're trying to do on the rear end. Red was born with a 355, but I bought 373 gear to put in it, and I paid a garage to do that. They marked this 373 ratio on the cover when they put it back on. So this leak is something that they did. It's not factory. It's an aftermarket, a garage thing. It's not dripping a whole lot, but it's making a mess on the floor. It'd take a long time at the rate it's dripping to leak everything out of there. But when I did lose some one time, I was running Red at Daytona last year, and the rear end got so hot that it blew a lot of gear oil out of this vent that sits right here. Now this is something else I've added. Little bulb. It's a Ford piece of repair for that particular problem. If you're going to run high RPMs, high speed, like on a bank track, it may blow oil out of there. That's to catch the oil. So that's what we're going in there after, is to fix this gasket thing that's inside there. Time to get down to business. Well, would you look at that? The Ford shop guide says is you want to make sure you clean this surface, scrape all the old stuff off of it and everything, and as well on the differential itself. But look at this. Here's some news. Those guys at the garage, they found a gasket. Where did they find that? And it leaked. Well. And they didn't completely clean all of the old silicone stuff off of there. They got some scraping to do. Maybe that's what made their, where in the hell did they get that gasket leak when they put that on there? Kind of learn stuff by taking stuff apart sometimes. This little drill brush is doing a pretty good job. getting that old silicone off of there. In the meantime, I went and did a search, and heck yeah, these gaskets, you can get them all over the place. I wonder if the mechanics got tired of messing with the silicone and decided they'd just slap a gasket on there. Well, it leaked. Well, I got the inside of the cover plate. It's cleaned up. Look at all the stuff that came off of it. Good grief, you just throw a gasket on there and, well, it leaks when you do that. Now, I went to a lot of effort to try to match what it said in the Ford Mustang shop manual as to what kind of goop to use for this gasket, and I missed. I ordered the wrong thing. This was very expensive. This was like $50, but it's for diesel engines. There's so many things you come up on with the internet search for TA30, you know, all silicone stuff, and turns out this stuff is probably too good. They may not ever be able to get the cover back off the differential again. So after some help and discussion on the Bang Shift forum, thanks Super Buick Guy for recommending this stuff right here, Red RTV Silicone High Temp Gasket Maker. And thanks again to the Bang Shifters for helping me learn something about that. And this right here, I don't know what all, that was $50 for that. And there it is. But I'm going to use this for $6. Oh, I like this stuff already. 1/16 to 1/4 inch bead all the way around it and around all the bolt holes. And you put it together finger tight until the goop starts squeezing out. You let that dry for an hour and then you tighten it to torque. In our case, it's going to be 33 pound-foot. And then you let it dry for 24 hours. I'm retired. That suits me fine. Well, I have thoroughly cleaned this cover plate, and I worked out on the differential surface itself with brake cleaner and everything else, and so we're all ready to go. We're ready to come on in here with some of this stuff right here. Red RTV Silicone High Temperature Gasket Maker from Permatex. Like so, according to that directions. 1/4 inch bead around all the bolt holes. Here we go. Well, they say finger tight until you see stuff, squish out. And this cover's got that curled over lip on it, so I don't see any stuff squishing out. But I've got everything as finger tight as I can get it, and I know that stuff's in there, except for some I left right here and up there. So now we get to wait for an hour, and then we're going to torque them to 33 pounds, and this thing will be sealed up. Well, it's been an hour on this goop drying with the finger tight thing going on, so we're going to torque all of these bolts to 33 pounds. Now the fill hole on this particular differential is on the drive side. It is a 3/8 inch square, so I'm going to use just the drive off of a socket with actually an extension on it. That's what fits in there. That guy, this little guy right here, and he's got a magnet on him too to show you if you got any metal wandering around in there. Alright, here's the hole. There's the plug. You want us to put this in there first, and well, Well, no. And then you got to put about 1.5 quarts of this stuff in there. And no. So I'm going to have to rig the pump up on this. I'm going to have to pump about half of this, some of this down enough to make room for that, pour that into here, then pump the rest of that into there. That's how we're going to fill her up. Now this gasket goop has been drying for 24 hours, so we're ready to fill her up. One point of note, the Ford operating specifications on this rear end says the level can be anywhere from the bottom of the hole down to maybe about 1/2 inch below the hole. Now, why would you want to put it 1/2 inch below the hole? Because how would you know that's how much was in it? You can't see it. You'd have to make you a dipstick or something. So the rule of thumb for all these rear ends that I've ever heard of is you put gear oil in it until it runs out of that hole, and then you're finished. So we waited a day for that stuff to dry. We're going to fill her up after we get the pump rigged up. Okay, ready with the pump. Now we're pumping. Pour that modifier in there. Oops. Almost got all of it in there. Almost. Alright, here's the second bottle. We're going to pump this until it runs out of that hole, and then we'll be through filling it. Well, that shop manual that I got's for a 2006 convertible Mustang with a 7.5 inch rear end. This happens to be an 8.8 inch rear end, so this thing's already drank 2 quarts of this gear oil plus 4 ounces of the friction modifier, and it ain't even full. So we had to go get another quart of the gear oil. Let's pump this until it runs out. Let's finally get through with this. That's full. That's full. We're finished. There. Now, got to clean up all this mess. I got to torque that plug to 22 pounds. Got to get red down from here and then go driving. Thank you for visiting the Weeville garage. Please come back if you want to see me work on my car again some more. Have a great day, folks.